a testament to the power of God, honoring the life and ministry of James Taylor, father of David E. Taylor. At a young age, James Taylor surrendered his life to the Lord and began his Bible school training, seeking to do the will of God fervently above all else. He would spend countless hours of his personal time studying the Word of God and witnessing on the streets, ministering the healing miracle power of God. Under his tutor, Bishop Cannon, he grew in the power of the prophetic and in the supernatural healing power of God. He attended St. Joseph's Spiritual Temple in Memphis, Tennessee, where he served as a minister and residing elder with Bishop Cannon, helping to oversee over 400 churches. He married Kate, the love of his life, on May 3, 1956. They raised 9 children together, David E. Taylor being the 7th child. Throughout the years, they continued to hold family Bible studies, leading and guiding their children in the fear and the ways of the Lord. During his ministry, the miracle healing ministry rested heavy on him, as well as the office of the prophet. God continually used James Taylor to shake his city, leading many to salvation. One such notable miracle among many in his ministry took place when he was just 23 years old, a few days before he was to be ordained into ministry at St. Joseph's Spiritual Church during the upcoming Sunday morning service. At a young age, he was already walking in boldness with miracles, signs, and wonders. One such phenomenal miracle was published in the Memphis newspaper and became the buzzword around town. During a normal day in Memphis, a young Caucasian man, just 20 years old, named James Hayes, boarded a transit bus full of people. He pulled out his gun and robbed them all at gunpoint. Onlookers were shocked and frozen with fear, not knowing what to do. Minister Taylor, on the other hand, boldly boarded the bus and began to share the word and love of God to him. He commanded Hayes to give him the gun immediately and to put it in his hand in Jesus' name. To the shock and utter amazement of the passengers of the bus, the man instantly obeyed, putting the gun in his hand. Minister Taylor also commanded Hayes to give the people their money back, which he did. Later on, Hayes was apprehended and arrested. James Taylor attended the trial in court, and upon seeing each other for the first time since the incident, they both wept. With great compassion and tears in his eyes, Minister Taylor spoke up on behalf of the young man to the judge. Later on, they met in the detective's office, and he then led Hayes to the Lord, resulting in his life being completely changed. What made this story even more incredible was this took place at a time when racial tensions were high. Through this miracle, racial barriers were confronted and broken. The main newspaper, the Memphis Press Scimitar, openly published the racial unity and love that was taking place. The headline read, "Negro Speaks Up in Court for Accused White Man." The very first sentence of the article said, "A Negro and a white man cried together today." The article went on to report how James Taylor put a Bible in front of Hayes and led him to the Lord. The article ended quoting Minister Taylor expressing his sincere love for the young man, saying, "The boy is full of good, so full of good, I'll have to squeeze it out of him, just like squeezing juice out of a lemon." This same strong mantle of the prophet and miracle healing ministry has fallen on David E. Taylor. After he was converted at the age of 17, when Jesus first appeared to him face to face, he heard about the powerful ways the Lord had used his father. The testimonies of God's power on his father's life stirred his faith to pursue the Lord, not just for the same grace of God to work on his life, but to build even greater on the foundation his father laid. In order to show forth the glory of God and win souls, the preaching and demonstration of the kingdom with mighty signs, wonders, and miracles. He has continually displayed God's authentic miracle power in the 21st century. David E. Taylor is also walking in the example of his father by continually displaying his love for all nations, confronting racism, and speaking up against racial injustices, just like his father displayed during the Memphis bus transit miracle.
My father, y'all saw that clip, how powerfully he was used when he was young. And one thing my dad, I want to say this because how many have ever experienced church hurt? And my dad experienced church hurt, and you saw how powerfully God was using him in his 20s, and They put him all in the newspapers in Memphis, and he had a strong prophetic healing ministry under Bishop Cannon, who had a very powerful miracle ministry. And I was just a little boy. I still remember St. Joseph running around there, but I didn't know what really, I just knew it was church. But I was like 4 years old, 5. And something happened with a church split. And of course, my dad's heart got broken and he just stopped ministry. He stopped everything for many years. So by the time I was 18 or 17, Jesus appears to me. So I didn't know my dad was as God-fearing or a servant of the Lord, because he wasn't in church, he wasn't preaching the gospel. But thank God, he has come back to God many years ago, since I've been saved actually. And I'm so thankful for that. Give God the glory for that. Come on. But that's what I want to say, about his life, that God started using him powerfully. And I believe there are a lot of people like that come to church. God may use them and then they get hurt in the church and then they just stop. And I love him because he's an honest man. He said to me, my main thing that I did wrong was that I stopped. And he said to me, I appreciate that you never stopped. And I learned that. So I want to honor my dad. Come on, give my dad a great big God bless you.